Good morning, guys. What's up? It's Hudson B. I know I'm always doing something outdoors, camping, fishing, hunting, something like that, but today we're doing something very different. My little sister just bought her first car. It's a 2003 Infiniti G35. The paint on it is absolute crap. I mean, like, somebody took fence paint and just kind of held it there. There's runs all over it. So I linked up with my buddy Chris Tolson from Backyard Customs. We are going to get this thing ripped apart, cleaned up, sanded, and resprayed within this week. It was gonna cost me a week of filming theoretically because I was gonna be doing this. You know, I'm doing a lot of the labor. It is my sister. I do want her to get a good deal on it. So unfortunately, it was gonna cost me a week of my regular filming, but instead I figured I would take you guys along with me and show you guys the whole process of tearing the car down, cleaning it, sanding it, prepping it, painting it, like buffing it, everything that there is to do with it. So let's just get to it. Let's get into this. I'm super excited to start doing it. As y'all can see, that paint literally just blew off with a pressure washer. We did apply some media after I got most of it off just to get some of the areas. We do have a little bit of body filler here that we're gonna have to do a little work on. But for the most part, she is, this side actually hung on pretty well. Right here, we did burn the side to get that dent pop back out so it would come back out most of the way. But we're down to bare metal here. Primer. I'm about to grab the sander and start the sanding. We're going to try to sand and prime the hood and the roof today. But she's coming along. Update, it is 5:30. I need to put my seatbelt on because safety first, right? Well, I mean, I'm vlogging and driving, but make sure I don't get ejectamundo. So I have sanded the roof and the hood. I have to go to work. Chris is gonna continue to finish sanding the roof and the hood. We did find a little bit of rust, so we're having to take and die grinder that out with like 36 grit, get it down to bare metal and seal it so we don't have any issues with that ever again. We've 180'd the hood, it's off. It's gonna get primered tonight. The roof is gonna get primered tonight, and then I'm gonna go back tomorrow with a grinding wheel and take the whole driver's side down to metal because that's the side the paint was blowing off with a pressure washer, like insanely bad. So we don't want any of that crappy base coat underneath what we're putting down, because what will happen is over time that base coat underneath will let go and then the paint will start letting go from underneath, chipping off in big chunks. So we don't want that because we want longevity. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Day number 2 is upon us. Last night I had to go to work. Chris continued working. This morning I yanked out the headlights. Those guys are out. The roof is primed. You can see that. It's been primered. The hood has been primered as well. I mean, granted, there's some leaves on it, but the hood is primered. Now, the goal for today, all this you see here, all this, gone. I'm about to take a wire wheel and knock all of this off. And the goal for today is to get all this off this side and this whole side primered, ready to rock and roll. Chris just left. He's gonna go figure out the Infiniti paint code for this thing. The base coat itself is $450. Then the mid coat is even more, and we're not doing an Infiniti paint code. We're gonna end up doing something custom because I'm not paying $450 for a factory color, for one part of a factory color. No way. So we're gonna do something really interesting, something really different. So we're gonna pull together a couple colors and maybe do some wizardry. Let Chris kind of have at it. As far as I know, Bella likes warm colors, you know, golds and greens and stuff like that. So we're gonna do some craziness with the pearl and the flake in this thing. So let's get to it. Let's get this paint off of here. All right, guys, that whole side stripped off. First bit of blood was drawn on the car. I'm not flicking you off, but look at that right there. I about peeled my fingernails slap off. I was pulling trim out of the trunk to get the taillights out. Headlights are out. Now we're just gonna move to the back. These come out. Got these peeled on back. I was pulling a piece of trim from right here. My fingernail went right up underneath that right there. Son of a gun. That is going to hurt tomorrow. Dirty lands. All right, guys, we have the car pretty well taped off and masked and taped for this side, sanded back. Bella is actually going through and prepping the surface for the primer. Everything is pretty squared away. Chris is in the shop in there, getting the primer mixed up and ready to rock and roll. While she wipes it down, make sure to get that side skirt and those edges real good, baby. And we're gonna lay down primer on this side. All right, so now, as you can see, this whole side's primered. We also have put down a black dust coat, so whenever we go back to wet sand, we know exactly what we sanded. This child right here actually got to primer her car. How do you feel about that?
It's pretty fun. I want to help do the other side too.
Yeah, well, you know what you get to do tomorrow?
Sand it.
Sand. Sand, 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 more sand. I've done 2 whole days of sanding now, and she gets to do probably the exact same thing. But it's all primer all the way around. I am getting her a new bumper and a new front bumper. Your hair's in the paint. Good job. But yeah, guys, it's coming along nicely. I think that's where I'm gonna cut it for today. I'll see you the next day of work on this, which is tomorrow, of course. Peace out. I will see y'all. You gonna get it in with me? Peace out. I'll see you on the next one.